All right. If you saw the title, you know what this is about. We're just gonna jump right into it. I am the 5-string Fury. How about that? So a few days ago, I was watching an interview. Victor Wooten. He was being interviewed by Julia from Common Guitars and Basses over in Germany. It was an interesting interview because watching her, you could tell she was definitely a fan of Victor Wooten.
Hey guys, I hope you're doing well. Today is a very special day for me. An all-time hero of mine is next to me, or we are going to have an interview, Mr. Victor Wooten.
So even though they're not together in the same place, you could tell she was excited, and I can relate to that in so many ways because I would be very excited to interview Victor Wooten. It would not be a good interview, but I'd be very excited to do it. And actually, I'm going to insert some clips here from that interview, and I'm also going to leave a link in the description and one of those cards so that you should go check it out, because you really should check out this whole interview because there was a lot of interesting information in it. Everything ranging from Victor's views on learning music.
People teach as us teachers teach the way we teach, where it would be more natural to teach the way the student needs to learn.
To Victor's views on the future of the bass.
I've seen, I think you posted it on Instagram, and you wrote under the picture "Hanging with the Winnie" at Fodera Guitars, and it looks like a bass, but a little bit like a cello.
Yes.
Like, what is it all about?
Just a lot of interesting content there, and kind of picking up some of his philosophies, which I've always kind of been a fan of. I read his book, his first book, the Music Lesson. Enjoyed that. Sounds like there's another book coming out, so definitely we'll be looking for that in the future. But this particular video is about the times that I've actually encountered Victor Wooten live in person. Why don't we just jump into that? I've actually only run into him 3 times, just 3 times. 3. The first time I'd heard about him from people, this is young, like 18, 19, maybe 20, somewhere in that young impressionable age range, after high school, possibly during college area. Encountered him before, hadn't had it. It was music, just heard about it, word of mouth. Hey, you're a bass player. Have you ever heard of Victor Wooten? You should check it out. That sort of thing. And so one day I actually found a show that was in town or near me, and it was in Royal Oak, Michigan. And I cannot remember the name of that bar, but I got a ticket to see the show. So this is my first experience with him live. I don't even think I had a CD at that point, which is really interesting, a whole different story. I don't know what to expect from a Victor Wooten show. I've never seen one, never watched one. This is kind of before YouTube was really a thing, so it's not like I was checking this out on the internet. I'm enjoying the show, I'm into the music, it's going great, and then we kind of get to the point in the show where he kind of brings it down and he's starts going into Amazing Grace and that bass solo that he does with Amazing Grace. While that's going on, you can tell from, I guess, the rest of the fans who were actually there to have known who he was, everybody kind of got quiet and kind of was enthralled by this going on. Everybody except for the guy who was standing next to me. This guy was into it. I mean, he was also drunk in public in a bar, and he was nicely toasted on both sides. You could tell he had just a couple too many, but he is swaying, he's into it, and he is excited. I mean, he's, woo, yeah, this is the part. And he is, you can hear him over everybody else in this place. Feel all the eyes just kind of, right right in that general direction. And this, you know, I'm kind of, he's not with me. The next time I saw Victor was a few years later, and it was actually part of a tour, an SMV tour. It was a tour with Stanley Clark and Marcus Miller. And the closest spot on this tour was like Cleveland, Ohio. And this is either the first or second show. And it may have been the first show that they did on this particular tour. And it was pretty awesome. It was a great show. I enjoyed it. Got the CD, hung out with my friend. It was a good time. And that was like really one of the first shows that a destination. I'm going to this other city to do this thing. That was awesome. The last time I actually saw Victor Wooten was a little bit closer to home. It was one of those rare occasions where he was touring and actually played at Calvin College here in Grand Rapids, Michigan. So I'm an adult, I'm married, got a job, got all the regular things, and I found out about this show, and I actually went to Calvin for a little bit, so I'm familiar with the venue and everybody who put this show on. So I'm awesome. I'm ready for this. We stand in this long line inside the college Fine Arts Center to wait to get into the main auditorium, and I think we had numbered seats, so I was in a good spot to see and hear everything, and I wasn't in the back, so it was a good time. Looking around, and all these guys have their bass guitars with them, and I'm really trying to figure out why you brought your bass to a show. It's not like you're just gonna be there and he's gonna be like, hey, you jump up on stage. That would have been awesome to see, but I just couldn't figure out why they brought their basses. And then I kind of commented to my boy Chris, like, that's weird. And we kind of joked on them a little bit and didn't realize how brilliant these people actually were. I was maybe just too old to catch the brilliance of this activity, bringing your bass to the show. And because this is at Calvin, they actually got to a point where they interacted with the audience and took questions and kind of answered questions, because Calvin was really good for bringing in artists and bringing them in to enrich the students. And so the students would get to ask questions. There was probably a workshop earlier in the day, and there was a lot going on. So you know that this was a good spot to have this. So we get a full show, and we also get some clinic type activities going on. So it was fun. After the show, after everything's wrapped up, you kind of get this long line of people to actually meet Victor. So I stand in this line with all these guys holding their basses and all these college students in there. And we're kind of far back. We stood in this line after the show for probably an hour, maybe hour and a half. But I was gonna stand in this line, I was gonna meet him, and that was it. Realized the reason these guys brought these basses was he was signing autographs on the basses. Like, they brought a bass and a Sharpie and he would sign their basses. And then I'm sitting there, and once you see that, it's like, oh, wish I had thought of that. Live and learn, growing up. Anyway, so I'm determined. I didn't bring a piece of paper. I didn't bring a notebook, nothing. I hadn't even planned on getting his autograph. I just wanted to meet him. My one shot. This is what I mean, the closest I'm getting to him. I'm at this point a fan. I know who he is. I've listened to a bunch of his albums. I've tried to follow some of his stuff with the Flecktones, you know, kind of know a little bit of his history, got a rundown of his gear, all these different things. I don't know if I had a question. I don't know what I was planning to do. But I finally get up to the front, and my friend is with me, and I think he's gonna take a picture or whatnot. So he's gonna frame it up, take a picture of me with Victor. And first I shake his hand and I tell him I'm a big fan, and I don't really remember what he said, but he's smiling and whatnot, and I'm smiling, and then I end up giving him like this bear hug, and it's just like, I have no idea what was said, but it was just like, and I think Chris is still laughing about that at this point the whole day, because I just totally went straight up fanboy, and there were no cool points earned. No cool points. No. That's my story. Thanks for watching. Check out this video. Links are in the description. You really should check it out. I was really impressed with the information about the future of bass and this bow that he's trying to get worked out with Fedora, so that you can play the bass with the bow and electric bass. I think it's a really cool concept, and I'm interested to see how that goes. Yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.